What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my website, youtube.com/. This video was called How the 16 Personalities Connect with Others. Sometimes there might be people we're hanging around and we're like, why are they acting this way? What are they doing? And little do we realize, because they are a different personality type from us, that they're actually trying to make a connection with us and we're just confused by it. So in this video, I'm gonna go through each of the personality types and explain one or two things that they might do in order to try to make a connection with you. And also, what does your personality type lead you to do that you don't even realize you're doing? Stay tuned to the end for my personal experience with this. Let's start first with the ISTJ and ESTJ. These two types are probably the most practical of all the personality types. They are like the doers. They are the natural, get out there and let me get stuff done types. You know Home Depot, how it's like we're the ones who get stuff done, or is that Lowe's? Something about doers. Frank, you really should have researched this before you made a video. Anyway, that hardware company is talking about STJs basically. They're the doers. So ISTJs and ESTJs might try to make a connection with you by doing something practical, by getting stuff done, working together, or at the very least discussing something practical. How can we get something done? How can we find a solution? So if someone is like, hey, let's mow the lawn together, and you're like, this person is awful, maybe not. Maybe they are just an ISTJ or ESTJ trying to make a connection with you. Are you gonna leave them hanging? Get out there and mow that lawn. I realize that a lot of my examples having to do with ST types always go back to lawnmowers for some reason. Why? So now let's move on to the STPs, ISTP and ESTP. How might they make a connection? I can speak fine until I turn on the camera. These types, what they're gonna do is they're gonna be like, I want to connect with this person, so I'm gonna challenge them to a friendly competition. These types are very competitive. They love showing off their skills at whatever it is. They like playing games, especially if they can get physical. They like that. So yeah, if a guy wants to arm wrestle you in a bar, he could just be an ISTP or ESTP trying to make a connection with you. But these types can also make a connection by discussing real world things. They will ask you like, give me the highlights of what you do and how you make that work. Tell me all about your car. Oh, awesome. Want to go on a drag race? Next up, the ESFJ and ISFJ. These types love a get-together, love getting all the friends together, getting everyone happy, having some good food and drink around. Maybe they will even host the party to bring people together. They'll invite you to their party. And that in and of itself, like inviting you over, that's indicative of something they will do to make that connection. They will express good feelings towards you in very practical ways, inviting you over, giving you, some food, something like that. Can I bring you a drink? You know how like the ISFJ is the stereotypical nurse in MBTI? They do. The thing is, these types, ESFJ and ISFJ, do like taking care of others. And so when they're trying to connect with you, they will do practical things to take care of you, to make sure that you're feeling good. So don't get annoyed. I know like the NTJs out there might get annoyed. Like, stop buzzing around me and like trying to give me all this stuff. Stop trying to tell me jokes and crap. Just let me be. But it's just an ISFJ or ESFJ trying to make a connection with you, dog. Now let's go to the ISFP and ESFP. I think these types are most likely to look for a connection by trying to find what do you like and what do I like, and where does that Venn diagram overlap? Like the people and the things and the experiences that we both like, that's where we're gonna find a personal connection. And see, this is the thing about introverted feeling, which both of these types have introverted feeling. So what they like, what these types like, is very personal. And if you guys don't like the same things, they're just gonna be like, what do we have between us? Nothing. And these types aren't gonna like fake it for you. They're not gonna say they like something when they really don't, because that's just not how introverted feeling works. So if you're talking to someone and they're like, hey, do you like this thing? Do you like that thing? And you've been saying no a lot, and then they kind of just like stop trying, it might, you might have been dealing with an ISFP or ESFP. You either need to find something in common or lie to them to get back in with them. Why don't we stop momentarily and see if YouTube would like to show a commercial, if I remember to put it in. Thanks for sitting through that. And if you're enjoying this video, hit the thumbs up button. Make a connection with the thumbs up button. And consider subscribing. Okay, now we're moving on to the intuitives. So things are gonna get weird. That's just what happens when we start talking about intuitives, okay? We talked about the normal types who have their feet firmly planted on the ground, and now we're going to the types that have their head in the clouds. Let's go to the INTP and ENTP. Oh boy, these types, man, they are something else. So you know, when we talked about the STPs, I said that they were kind of competitive. They like games that you can actually play and win. The INTPs, they like to play like mental games. I don't mean like mind games, like they're trying to, get one over on you. What I mean is the conversation itself becomes a kind of intellectually stimulating challenge to them. Because these types, I think I've said it in videos previously, the INTP and ENTP love to just talk about hypothetical ideas for fun. That's their idea of fun. What kind of life is that? So if someone who's a little bit nerdy starts talking to you about, what do you think about this hypothetical scenario and how would this work? And if you look out into the future and you think how are things gonna work out this way or that way, and it's this weird abstract conversation that's about something nerdy, you probably got an INTP or ENTP trying to connect with you. One thing I've also found with these types is that their sense of humor can often be very subtle. So they might make jokes that go over your head, so you need to be on your toes. You don't want to let those get by you, because they will think less of you. Okay, now let's move to the INTJ and ENTJ. Oh, geez, these types, man, when they're trying to connect with you, watch out. So I mentioned with INTP and ENTP that their sense of humor is kind of subtle. Same for these types, although all of their emotions, I think, will be pretty subtle with this group, especially INTJs. ENTJs, on the other hand, they can have like this weird thing where they'll just be have this explosive emotional energy, but don't read too much into how they're acting. What I mean is they might not clearly display that they like you or are trying to connect with you. Instead, they're going to try to find a topic that you are interested in. These types, it's similar to the INTPs in that they want to have this, engaging intellectual discussion of abstract topics, but they want to keep it limited. It's like, let's find one topic and talk about that, and we'll throw out like different ideas about this topic, maybe different solutions to this problem that we're talking about. But these types, INTJ and ENTJ, are also going to be wanting to test out each of those opinions that's being put forward and be like, is that actually true? Is that not true? And if you are like a feeling type going into that kind of conversation, it can make you feel a little bit beaten up and bruised. It can be, they're playing hardball there, but they're not doing it to like make you feel dumb. They're doing it because that's how they connect with you. So if you've got someone asking you like, what do you think about this? And then you give them your opinion, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm not so sure if that really works, if that's really true. But then they come back and ask you more questions. They're still engaging you on the topic. You could be dealing with an INTJ or ENTJ who is just trying to make a connection. Don't hide that under a bush. Moving on to the ENFP and INFP. These types are all over the place, and they like to talk about amusing stuff, amusing random things that's like looking out at all these different possibilities of stuff that doesn't even make sense, and if they find it funny, that's what they're gonna talk about. INFPs and ENFPs also they love inside jokes, and it's weird because it's like, in a way, they don't care if you laugh or not. As long as it's funny to them, that's the priority there. But I think they want to be appreciated for being clever. If you're able to like catch on and kind of get some of these inside jokes, and especially if they are trying to include you, make some kind of inside joke with you, that is a good sign. In a way, it's like, can you hang with their sense of humor? Can you vibe with them? They're testing that out. So if someone is engaging you in a bunch of stuff you can't even understand, like it's out there, but they're laughing and you can tell that they're making some joke that is funny on some level, but it's like, what, dude? It could be an INFP or ENFP trying to make a connection with you, trying to bring you in to the fold of people they like. Then we move on to the INFJ and ENFJ. And these types, man, it's funny what they do, but also scary. To make a connection with you, these types are going to go over the top to try to make sure that you know that they are feeling the way that you want them to feel as you're talking. So if you're telling a story that is happy or whatever, the NFJs are gonna like act over the top oftentimes with how it's like, dude, really? Oh my gosh, that is so great. What they're trying to do is read, how are you feeling about this? How do you want them to feel about it, and then they're trying to give that to you in order to create the connection. If you tell a joke, they're probably gonna laugh even if they didn't find it funny. And you know, my personal experience with this, being an INFJ, is this. I will be very expressive to make sure that they get it. They get that I'm listening and I am reacting the way that I should be reacting. Because not only do I want to react in the correct way, but I also want you to feel good, and I want you to like me. And I'm trying to manipulate you. What? I mean, we're just having a good time here. Well, that's about it from me. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Watch another video right here. Watch the whole playlist right here. And until next time, stay cool and attractive.